morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We are EBS, your experienced technology partner, and we have been in business for over 45 years. We specialize in the deployment of Sage Business Management and Microsoft solutions, managed services, and secure on-premises and cloud-based infrastructure. My name is Darren Tolley, and I am one of the account managers here at EBS. Today, we are joined by Sicon, who we have partnered with for many years. Sicon are a Sage Tech Partner Plus and provide a wide range of innovative solutions for Sage 200. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Chris Donlan, our partner account manager,
Morning.
who will give and Chris will give us an overview of Sicon CRM, which is fully integrated within Sage 200 Professional. We are recording today's presentation and we'll make it available to you in the next few days. There are lots of recordings on our YouTube channel. Remember to hit subscribe to receive notifications when we load new videos. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, or there will be an opportunity at the end of the presentation in the Q&A session. That's enough from me, so I'll pass you over to Chris. Morning, Chris.
Hi, Darren. Hope you're well. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the call this morning. It's going to be my pleasure to give you a tour around CRM and try and cover off as much as I can do within the time that we've got available. So let me just start by mentioning, picking on the back of what Darren said there about Sicon. So we are just effectively a software house. All our products only work exclusively with Sage 200. And what you're looking at the moment on the screen is the Sicon website. Do feel free to visit that. You will find a lot of rich content about, in particular, CRM. So it's down here. And we've got some YouTube videos ourselves, which you might want to take a look at, and you've also got access into the help and user guide, which, trust me, will tell you chapter and verse a lot more than I can hope to cover off in the webinar that I'm having with you this morning. So please feel free to go and have a look at that. Okay, I'm going to take my camera off now so I can take you into the Sage system. So I'm often asked the question when I'm invited to present this solution, why Sicon CRM? And I suppose the short answer is that yes, there are lots of innovative, graphical looking packages out there on the market that I'm sure deliver CRM solutions. One that springs to mind, for example, is HubSpot. But the issue, and this I hasten to add, that this includes Sage CRM, would you believe? But neither of those applications can actually see the Sage 200 system, not without an awful lot of expenditure placed on connecting them together. So the answer to the question why Sicon CRM is the fact that if your business has a heavy dependency on being able to see and work with the data that is on your Sage 200 system, then frankly, this is going to be an easy answer. Okay, so let me give you a look around the menu. I'm starting inside the Sage system, but I also want to just make you aware at this early stage that you will also have the opportunity of being able to engage with it through a web portal and also a mobile phone. And that is built into the license. So effectively, if some of your users do not want to work inside Sage, or you don't have licenses for them, then they can actually engage with CRM through a web portal or on their mobile, which makes it very transportable. Let's just click on company search here for a moment, and then we can start to delve into some of the detail. So I've just clicked find there, and within a microsecond, all the information on my Sage system relating, as you can see, to both customers and suppliers has actually appeared on the screen. Now, this is real data that's in my demo system. So we're not holding separate data within CRM. We're just actually accessing data inside of Sage. But I'll talk a little bit more about that a little later on. Now, you can set up specific filters. You can tie users into what we call territories. So if you've got certain representatives, for example, within your business that need to only work within a small framework of customers, then you can actually isolate those customers and assign them to that territory. So that avoids any sort of cross-pollination of people talking to customers who they aren't responsible for. So if I was to just click on the company type here, now I'm looking purely at customers. Okay, and this is typically what most people would want their CRM system to show. It's not often that we see them actually working with supplier records as well, but it's there if you need to. Let's go and have a look at one of these accounts. I'm just going to click on edit here to take myself into it. Just give it a moment there while it pulls all that information onto the screen. There we go. So let me take you through some of these tabs. First thing I suppose to note is that the system will record every time someone comes in and actually does something with that record. They might add a case, they might add a task, they might update the record with some more email information, they might send or receive an email. Okay, all of this is possible within the CRM solution. So when I go to detail, this information that you can see on the screen here is just pulling this from the Sage sales ledger record for this company, Abbey Retail. I can also look at all their address locations. I can add new address locations here. I can edit these locations, okay, or I can remove them if I have permission. Okay, and what happens here is that as I edit or add this information, it is literally updating Sage in real time. So there's no click to synchronize or an end of day update or something similar. You are literally working hand in hand with the Sage records. Likewise, if I go to people, I can see all my primary contacts at this account, along with their telephone number, mobile, email, whatever else I have. And again, as you can see from the buttons here, I can edit, add new records, etc., or delete them again if I have permission. Let's just move on to the account now. So now we're actually accessing the Sage 200 transaction history. Okay, so depending on how long you've been working with that account, then we can delve back, as you can see, over as many years as we have the records for. Now that's quite a useful thing, because if you think about having been on Sage 200 maybe for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you now add a CRM system, and straight away that CRM system is going to be able to connect and reveal activity and data that might come in handy for someone that's managing that account. It's not something that you've got to build up from scratch, so to speak. You're actually accessing it as if you've been on the system for years. Okay, so consequently, over here to my right, I can now start to, if I wish, I can raise a new opportunity. Maybe this company might be interested in buying a product from me. I can create a task and assign it to another member of the team. I can build a case. So if the customer has an issue or a problem, I might need to track that case through to conclusion. That might involve a lot of activity, a lot of correspondence, etc. But I can connect all of that back to the case, so I have a full history of what's going on. And we've got some examples of that here. Look, okay, made an appointment, confirmation agreed, etc. And cases, if I have a, say for example here, a quality control issue, and I can see the stage that it's at. It's in progress, going to complete, etc. But you will always go back and be able to review your task and case history. Just back onto the account again for a moment. So we've got a graphical interpretation of the year that I'm looking at. So as I change that year, I get a graphical interpretation responding immediately. I can build quotes. Now these quotes relate to standard sales order processing in Sage. So I'm not necessarily a Sage user if I'm working in the portal or I'm working on my mobile phone, but I nonetheless can still create and therefore insert quotes, pro formas, sales orders, okay? And I can convert the quote to a sales order myself. And again, if you think I'm working in the portal or on the mobile, then I'm actually nurturing the progress of that opportunity and getting the record put in place so that the normal Sage team that would then be responsible for dispatching that sales order and ultimately invoicing it to the customer, they can do that on the back of me actually starting the whole process off. The other nice thing I like about this particular menu is instead of having to open each order to find something that I might have sold them, okay, so you can see we've got some live orders. These are history, things that we've completed in the past. But if I click on sales order items, this now shows me the items and which sales order they appeared in, of course, but they're actually, I can see what this company has actually bought from me. Okay, so again, it might be useful for me to see, oh, they regularly buy this item, or maybe I can, incentivize them into buying something that relates to that item. So as a sales tool, this is very, very powerful. And I can look at that history over as far back in time or more recently as I want to. I can just put my ranges in here. If I create opportunities, so this one we're interested in trying to sell them a coffee machine, for example, then I can just put my opportunities in here. So if we just edit to see what that looks like. So again, I can see how I'm tracking that opportunity, how it's developing. If I lose it, why did I lose it? Did I need to put a better price in there and so on? Okay, so I can see the people who I'm working with, any associated tasks, memos, email. You'll notice how I can basically create an email in here. Okay, so I can hit new and that will allow me to then present Outlook or whichever email system you're using with something to send. If I get an email in to my system, then I can simply just drag and drop that email onto this screen. Okay, and then we have a record of an inbound email. If I need to have any attachments associated with this, then I can associate them here. So for example, this is just a picture, maybe it's a contract, maybe it's a terms and conditions, whatever I feel I need to have assigned against this opportunity, then I can store it in here. Again, if I want to look generally over all my emails that are associated with this account, then just clicking on this tab here now reveals everything I've ever communicated or outbound and inbound with that particular client. Over here, if I want, I can actually block somebody from receiving any marketing material that I might want to generate. And I just want to mention at this point, by the way, that if you want to build a campaign, a mail out campaign, then you will need to be a Sage user. I'll point this menu out a little later. But what this will enable somebody to do is to generate a campaign. It might be people who haven't bought anything from us, let's say in 12 months or so. It might be that I want to approach people that have previously bought a certain product because I want to alert them to a new development on that product. But either way, you build the campaign inside of Sage and then you can then import it into MailChimp. So if you are users of MailChimp, this is fully compliant with that tool. So generate the campaign inside of your Sage CRM, Sicon CRM, and upload it into MailChimp. And the great thing about the campaign file is that if the data changes inside of Sage, then the campaign is automatically updated. Okay, so that keeps it relevant and up to date. Okay. So that's a little bit, as I say, about the content that you can hold about your customers. Okay, so let me just close out of here for a second. Allows me to take you back to the menu I mentioned earlier on. So here, okay, on the campaign, this is where you can build up your campaigns, maintain them, and then export your campaign files, as I say, into MailChimp. But users of the web portal, which we're going to take a look at shortly, and also how it looks and feels on the mobile, they don't have that ability because you need to be inside the main Sage database to generate those campaigns. Okay, so let me just, before I take you into the portal area, let me just talk to you a little bit about how this system is built. So you have three different types of user. You have a basic, as you can see, intermediate and advanced. Each one has its own credentials, as you can see here. And realistically, the only difference between an intermediate and an advanced is to do with what I've just been talking about, which is the customer intelligence or email marketing. Okay. Each of those user licenses has its own fee. So please get in touch with Darren if you want to quote. But they are per person, they are named users per person per month. Okay. Quite from my experience, the most common license that people go after is intermediate. They'll probably have one or two people within their organization that want to use an advanced license. But as I say, the only reason for them being advanced is if you want to access the MailChimp marketing area. So let's just drift out of the Sage system and pop ourselves into the portal. So as you might appreciate, there's quite a common list of options here that were on the menu list inside of Sage. Okay, so let's just look at the similarities here. So again, as you can see, I can create new companies if I want to. And when I do that, by the way, I might mark that company as a prospective client. Okay, so I'm not actually dealing with them formally. Okay, and the nice thing about that is that I don't then flood my Sage system with prospective data. So when I'm going to formalize that arrangement, so that company has accepted my quote, they want to now buy something, then all I do is change the account from prospect to active, and CRM then places that onto my Sage sales ledger. Okay. So that's a good way of making sure that your sales ledger is only full of real accounts. Okay, so you can create a prospective record in Sicon CRM and approach the Sage system with it when you're ready. Okay, but let's have a look at the search. Very quick, as you can see. This system designed using React Carbon, which is a very fast development tool. So it will work very quickly. So again, let's just revisit the account we were looking at earlier inside of the Sage system, and you can see the transparency of the information here. So I have all my details. I can obviously generate email here. I can visit their website here. So that's probably a little bit of a difference in the way that these links actually work with other outside or connected solutions. I still have all my addresses that I showed you a moment ago. I can still see all my contacts. Okay, I can add contacts, edit contacts, exactly the same freedom of working with the data as I had inside of Sage. I can see my current situation with quotes, my pro formas, my sales order history. I can look back on any one of those orders and bring that information up to the screen. I've still got access to all my tasks, my cases, my appointments, my emails. Okay. Again, you've got your direction, inbound, outbound. Okay. I can send email here. Okay, as well. If I've got any attachments, They'll show in here just exactly the same way. Memos, GDPR. Linked companies, by the way, is a way of you actually being able to say, okay, this is my main company, Abbey Retail in this example, but it links to another company. Maybe it's a subsidiary. And again, that's quite useful because you may need to be able to relate to any connections very quickly. So that's a bit of a feel for how it looks inside of the web. Now let's drift out again, and this time let me show you how it looks on my mobile phone. Now, just in case you're interested, this is in actual fact is an Android device, but it will work on any mobile, iOS or Android. Okay, and if I tap the button to the top left there, again, you're now looking at exactly the same as the web portal, okay, but it's just been condensed down to this on a phone, on a screen on a phone. So again, I'll just show you that. If I go to companies, very quick, okay. So again, we'll just pop into Abbey Retail. Now, the great thing about a phone, of course, is that I can call them on my phone. Which sounds a bit obvious, but if you were in the portal, what you just need to make sure is that you have access to a dialer. Okay, so if you need a connection to your phone system, you just need a dialer package that you can go through. But again, the great thing about on the mobile is that if you're in the car, okay, first and foremost, you don't need Wi-Fi, so this will work over 4 or 5G, and you can access directions to where you need to go. Okay, so pick the address, of course, within this particular Abbey Retail group where you're going, and this will then connect you to Google Maps. Okay, and it will take you there as well if you didn't have a sat nav on your car. I can obviously access, as you can see, email as well. Okay, I can go directly to the company. Okay, and pick a primary person who I may want to talk to. I can edit all that information. Okay, I can create new opportunities. I can add memos. I can add attachments, create tasks, etc. So everything that you've basically seen me do in the portal, as I say, I can do from the mobile phone. So I can generate my quotes. I can put a sales order onto the system. I can convert a quote to a sales order in exactly the same way as I would have been able to do in the portal or on Sage. So, as I say, the transparency between the system is key. So again, not wishing to put too much emphasis on it, but these people do not need to be holders of a Sage license, yet they have all the transparency of all the data that you have in your system, and they can influence and add to that as they go along. Okay, it's a bit of a short and sweet demo, but hopefully it's giving you a feel for maybe wanting to have something a little bit more personalized to yourself and your business. So do please reach out to Darren and the team at EBS to get that arranged. But for me now, I'd just like to thank you for your time in joining us this morning, and hand back to Darren to follow up on any questions, etc., that might have been put into the chat. So thanks very much for listening and watching.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, just a couple of queries. In terms of the speed of deployment, I mean, from our experience, it is very, very quick to actually implement and connect up to your Sage data.
That's right. That's right. I mean, the great thing about it, Darren, as you probably know, is that, you know, the bulk of the content is already on their Sage system. So, as I say, it's great to think that they can immediately pick up on all that rich content of data that they have the minute they put this CRM solution on. But yes, you're right. The actual deployment time, I think you can just measure it in days. It's just not going to take very long before people can really take advantage of this solution and get used to it and get some benefit out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that there are 3 different types of licenses available. Perhaps you could just run through those for us.
Yeah. Just I touched on it a little earlier, but let me just bring up on the on the breakdown. So as I say, basic license. So you've got access to companies, contacts, tasks. You've got your Outlook integration. You can access it, as I said repeatedly, via the web or via the mobile app. So that's what a basic user can do. It's more to do with record keeping and maintenance than anything else. But your intermediate licenses, the most common that certainly my experience has led me to reveal that people then want to do the case and opportunity management and the generation of quotes, orders, etc. So you really need to be at least one in the middle, I think, to gain the most out of the system. And then finally, the advanced option right at the end would typically suggest that somebody is going to be a Sage or holder of a Sage user license, because the only difference, as I say, is the fact that they're going to be in a position to access the customer intelligence and email marketing through MailChimp, but they need to be in the campaign management, which is only on the Sage menu. So the other two, basic and intermediate, can't see that. You can't access MailChimp campaign generation in the portal or on the mobile, so you definitely need to be inside of Sage. But there's no reason necessarily for anybody to have an advanced license. It's not as if there's a minimum requirement, but obviously it will sit on your Sage menu, so it depends who you want to actually give access to it. But I've come across systems where nobody works with it in Sage, they just are connected to it via the web, so that's quite good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a key advantage there to using it through the web for salespeople.
Yeah,
particularly
definitely.
is that quite often they are not users of Sage, so
No,
this gives them everything that they need really to do their job and keep in contact with their customers regularly without having to without having to have a full Sage license.
Yeah, definitely.
And the pricing is per user per month.
Yes, that's right. Bear with, I'll just pop back onto this Sicon website and I can show you that. Obviously, for those of you just going to make a note of this, this won't include the costs of deployment, okay?
No.
But there you go, £16 currently per month as at May 25 for a basic license, 21 for an intermediate, 26 for the advanced license.
So, for a fully integrated solution, it's not a bank buster at all.
No, not at all.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, we've got no further questions. So,
okay,
thank you for doing that again
that's
for us. Thanks to everyone for watching. Just a reminder that there are lots of other videos on our YouTube channel, so feel free to go and take a look there. We have our Thrive event, business event coming up on the 18th of June, which Chris will be at.
I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah. This is at Moore Hall Hotel. If you go to our website, basically you can register there, and everyone's welcome.
Brilliant.
Right. Thanks very much again. All the best.
Okay. Cheers, Darren. Take care.
See you again soon. Take care.